And maybe we also have a look at do we have the template? I think this is the template that we have from, this is the template that was from the forum. This is the template in the forum. So probably this is the information we want to share. Okay, so maybe just quick, next, like what we're doing in this session. From my perspective, I'll go first, and any distractions you have. I think we are there in terms of what we're going to do, and now it's a matter of writing the proposal. So I feel like, hey, Juan Carlos. So I feel like that's probably what we do. We could probably start this with going through each of the pieces, maybe, that will go into the proposal, and then maybe have like a writing session to write the proposal. That's what I kind of hope to happen, but open to other ideas or anything that needs discussion. And my distractions are, so honestly, I have like 40 tabs open of things that I need to do. So my tabs are operating as my to-do list, and that makes me feel really uncomfortable. So I feel like I want to start, I don't know, putting those somewhere else than open tabs, but I'm going to ignore it for now and focus on this. And I will pass to Mitch.
I would love to get this done, like something that we can actually propose to the community. And I think we got really close, like we found lots of common ground last meeting, and I feel confident we could do it with the hour. And I'll give it to Zepti.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. Yeah, my intention is almost the same. The only concern I have is like about the number. Like it was some disparity. Like some people, the number is, I don't know. I do not feel comfortable choosing any of those numbers right now for me. But yeah, I think we could do it in this hour, and if we do it, it's yeah. And I would do the number at the end of the proposal. Like I would, well, yeah, I don't know. I'll pass it to Juan.
Thanks, Septi. Yeah, I want to follow with you this process, and I am also interested in what can come up from this meeting. My distraction is that I am also sending tweets and inviting people to the Graviton training. But yeah, I am mostly listening and here with you guys.
Cool. Okay, so maybe just to recap from last week. So the points are that there is one of these figures. We could review the advantages and disadvantages of the figures. We don't need to do that right now. And the structure for custody governance is looking like this. So 7-person committee, 5 of 7 multi-sig, and then the process for, oh yeah, thanks for doing that, whoever did this. And then the process and then there being a process, right, for allocation of those funds to be voted in by the community, and that would happen, I guess, on Snapshot. Right, so this is the prerequisite, and then clear guidelines for what kind of cases can be submitted for allocation, and the cases are strategic partnerships, liquidity, and secondary markets. Now, there is a second part of this, actually. So this is the custody by the, what do we want to call this? By the...
something like guardians, I would say. Like
you're talking about the custody by the rewards DAO, the reward board.
Yeah, I saw it. I like that. I saw that you suggested that. But this is custody by the reward board. The other custody would be by the structure.
For managing the DAO treasury?
It's not really the treasury. It's just the initial tokens, the initial buy-in.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say guardians or something like that. Like these
So
people,
it's like
these people do not choose. We were saying like these decisions were going to be made on Snapshot. So these people are not choosing they are not managing those funds. They're just what like they are custodying them and making sure like what the community is saying is what they do. So
I have a question for you, Zepti, though. Say this X board, we haven't picked a name for it, sees an opportunity and makes proposal to the community to do something with the funds. Can they do that?
they shouldn't. What if they see an opportunity but they fuck it up?
But if they ask the community, they're like, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
we saw
Of
this."
course. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like they also can investigate and do research, and they make proposals. Be like, "Hey,
But
what do you guys think if we invest in this amount in this specific thing, and like give all the context?" Can they do that?
Yeah, of course. But they and anyone in the community.
Can I jump in if it's okay?
Yeah.
I think what Mitch is raising is really important, and it's a lot more aligned with how I see this. I actually see this group of 7 people have a commitment not just to execute, but to be the people most concerned with the strategy and the well use of this. So they should be people that are knowledgeable, on and care about this subject, and will be doing sort of research gathering, understanding the what's available in the space, and probably the people that are going to submit the proposals for how to use it. So I look at this group of people as people who do have responsibility beyond just doing the SIG. I think it would be a vast use of talent and skill if we were just to say, here's 7 people and all they do is wait for a proposal and then do the multi-sig to release the funds. I actually think we should have a group of people who are very strategic and will actually put together why are you guys laughing? Is it something with Griff?
Griff. Griff got that
Santa hat.
band of sunlight.
Oh no,
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was a Santa hat.
It looks like he's wearing like a scarf on his head or something.
All right, so back to it. So I actually think this group is somebody that has like the mandate to actually come up with proposals, because they have their fingers on the pulse or thumb on the pulse or whatever you say, and that if we just wanted people to sit by and do nothing except do a multi-sig once in a while, it would be we shouldn't even do it then. Is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
No,
but then to Zepti's point, it's like, yes, they could look up this stuff, and yes, they can make proposals, but they can't actually execute it without the community's approval.
Agree. But there must be some sort of, but I guess I agree. And that's here, before allocating tokens, so prerequisite, right? For allocating tokens is a snapshot by TECH token holders. And then there's like this emergency clause, right? Like if there is a compelling reason to, and that's tricky actually. Like what's the guideline for an emergency case? If there's like a loss of funds, like I guess that's the emergency case, right?
Yeah, well, they're like, oh shit, the contracts are compromised. Pull out.
Yeah. Risk of loss, exactly. So if there's any use case where like there will be a loss of funds if there's not an emergency, something transacted, then that would be something that this group can do on their own, but then have the clear, like, then there's like this post-mortem that's produced for the community to understand what happened. Does that sound like it's starting to make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
I just have one thing to say. Like also like if someone who is outside of this group of people propose something and pass, I think we should even do it. Like even if the people who are who have to sign for some reason they do not agree, but inside the parameters, like the community decide to do that, like they should do that. Like it's what the community wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I believe is true too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they have veto power. If that's the point, right? That's the point you want to make. They can't veto something that's been approved by the community if it's approved by somebody else.
Yeah.
So the funnel looks like anyone can make a proposal. it's open. Probably this group will be making proposals because they have the interest in this. And then anything that gets approved, they're required to execute. They don't have the ability to say, no, we don't really like agave. I don't like the developer there. We're not going to do that. All right, cool. The structure and then custody. Okay, what can it be used for? Okay, and I don't know what this, I don't know if it's a board or a committee or a group, whatever.
TC brokers.
Yeah, it's I don't know what we call that. What are you? I don't know if we need to worry about the name now. But it's, I like the, if we're gonna, I kind of feel like if we're gonna start calling the people that are controlling pieces of funds, if we're not gonna call them DAOs, but call them boards, then maybe we should do that more consistently in the TEC.
I just like reward board because it rhymed, and it was way easier to say than rewards DAO committee.
Oh, well then maybe we want like the token schmokins.
But yeah, token schmokins is great.
I agree with the rhyming. I think it's important.
Oh boy.
If people
well,
are
I'm
gonna
gonna
have pride in their jobs, you know, their name should rhyme. You know.
Okay. So maybe we get to writing then now. Actually, while we have Griff here, maybe we have a conversation. I don't know how long you can stay with us. So while I know you're present, let's have a conversation. Oh, excellent. Let's have a conversation around the number. Zepti wanted to raise some questions around it, and maybe it's not a bad instance for us to do some, what are the advantages and disadvantages of higher and lower? Zep, did that accurately rephrase what you, okay. So you voiced in the last one that you think as high as possible, like higher over lower, favors higher over lower. And then I guess
within these numbers, yeah. Like if it's 200 or 300, I vote 300 because the money goes back into the curve, and the thing. I mean the benefits are, hey, we get more tokens, right? That's the big benefit. The con is that the bonding curve's reserve ratio will be a little bit higher, so we'll have a little bit more slippage in, like we'll have less liquidity by default in the design of the curve. And it's like we have infinite liquidity, but it's still the price is likely to change more.
The slippage from the buy-in will be higher.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
And in general, the curve steepness will be higher, so the slippage will be higher forever, you know?
And that's because we have, just so I understand, that's because we have less in the reserve pool, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
instead of, but the 100K between 200 and 300 to me is not that big of a deal, and we'll design around it. Like the initial buy will be built into the parameters. So I feel like we can work around it. If there was 200, 300, 400, 500, I wouldn't be saying, oh, the higher the better. You know, like I'd be like, I don't know. But I think that we can get away with it, and I think the value of having these tokens, like being able to buy these tokens at the cheapest possible price, is really valuable as long as we hold them for a month. Like I really, really think that it's important to recognize the price can actually only go up, which is crazy, you know? The number can only go up. This is a very unheard of kind of situation. So I hope that with these tokens that we're not so hot to trot to make trades with other communities right away, because our token will only go up. So if we hold for a little bit, we can like if we hold for a month or two, or basically like halfway through the token freeze and do it then, you know, or then we'll have more money there. So that would be good.
To make trades.
To make for the LP trades, or
we wouldn't sell this.
Yeah, we never sell it, but
Yeah.
But effectively, we are selling it kind of when we're trading it.
What? Yeah. What? Yeah. I do see strategic partnerships as a kind of sale, right? It's just a trade for XDAI, but it's a kind of sale.
Yeah,
So let's say
it's a
we
trade for
wanted,
their it's a trade for their tokens. Oh well, if we're strategic partnerships, like we're selling the token, then yeah, that's
yeah,
for
so
sure.
we would have some set of tokens that we could then um, sell for the lowest price, or like a small difference, like under the current value, right? And that
Yeah,
would be the advantage for,
and then under the current value would be more than what we paid if the
that's right.
longer we wait. So, and then we can also just put that money back into the conviction voting pool. When we're selling it, we can sell it for conviction voting pool money, not bonding curve money, which is super
The
cool.
common pool.
Yeah, the common pool. So, oh, nice shirt.
Thanks.
So when I see a lot of benefits here, like I feel like by pulling money out of the bonding curve, it's not that big of a deal when we're talking 300K, when we're talking 20%.
Out of the hatch funds.
Yeah, out of the hatch funds, which effectively steals from the bonding curve and conviction
A
voting
little
pool.
bit of both.
Yeah. And the biggest con is that we can't undo is the price floor. But if we're holding some of the tokens, we're creating kind of a new price floor, right? So if the DAO itself is trading TEC for honey and then holding a honey token, holding a honey pool token, then that's its own price floor right there, right? Because those TEC will never be sold. They'll just be sitting in the TEC coffers.
Can you re-explain the impact of the price for me, please?
So the price floor is what definitely gets impacted. So like, okay, let's imagine we do the initial buy, right? So we design the token economy, and the price floor is set at $1.50. But then we actually buy tokens. We buy 300K worth of tokens, and then we raise the price floor. Well, then we raise the price 20 cents, right? If we would have just had the 300K to design, maybe we would have set the price floor at $1.70, right? But and if we didn't do the initial buy at all, that would have just been a free for all, and the price is going to be $1.70 minimum, no matter what. And so that's where the direct visible impact is. We don't have a price floor that's as strong anymore, and it's like, to the speculators that might be a little scary. It's like, oh, the DAO has a bunch of tokens they can sell that could lower the price, but I would hope that a lot of the issues here we can mitigate by saying, oh, strategic partners, we'll give it to you cheaper, but we're also gonna, lock you in a vesting contract. And that's really easy to do. We have these vesting contracts that everyone is using. The vesting contract still allows you to vote. It's not like you're effectively locking the tokens in their wallet. You're not locking them in some other smart contract that they can't use to vote with. So I'm sorry, I'm being really scattered. There's so many little pieces that I'm throwing out at you.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's maybe move on from that then, actually, to go back to so these are, I think in the proposal, it would be very nice for us to explain to the community advantages, disadvantages, and all of these maybe caveats that we're discussing now, to have a whole picture of this subject. I just dropped the link to this in the stewards channel, and maybe I'll put our proposal in here, and maybe I'd love. Sorry, is there anything else other than advantages of holding our own token, and it's the lowest price that we can buy our own token until the thaw?
The biggest advantage is that all the money goes back into the economy. All the money goes back into the economy. Like, we take 300K out, we design it, and then we buy the tokens into the bonding curve, and then whatever the entry tribute is goes to conviction voting pool, and the common pool, and whatever is not entry tributed goes into the bonding curve. We're not really, it's like we take 300K out, we make some tokens, give it to ourselves, and then we put the money back in. It's like, It's almost like nothing happened. But we get free tokens. As long as we design it, as long as we have this number so that we can, design the economy with this in mind. Otherwise, then it's weird.
Okay. So we have a target date for the 26th. Okay, we still have time, but I think we are going to finish this. Here's what I propose. Who feels comfortable writing? Taking a section of this, going into the proposal template, and maybe we can look over this proposal template. So an accurate and detailed description of what we're proposing. First of all, this is the proposal template from the forum. I think we go with this. If anyone thinks there's a better version, just shout. And then proposal details, expected duration, how does this help, team information, skills, funding information. Okay. May I ask if we all go into the proposal template? And I'll just buy in for
The
now.
document is closed for me.
I apologize, that's my fault. I'm going to share it right now.
Thanks.
And maybe we just start building this template. If anyone knows how to summon the music god, can someone do the summoning of the music god?
Yeah.
So Mitch, is there a section that appeals to you to start?
I'm trying to load this proposal template here in this section.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say, I'm interested in starting with the structure, taking a crack at drafting the structure of this. But I'll go last, actually.
I think I can work in the description, like an easy way to explain it. Yeah, I can work in the description.
Okay, cool. That's great. Thanks, Juanca.
I'll take what's left. What's left, I'll take it.
You know what it can be used for? Do you want to do that?
You talking to me?
No, is that yeah. Maybe you want to start drafting this out? Okay. What did you want to do the sorry, Mitch, what did you say you wanted to do?
I didn't say anything yet.
What do you feel like doing?
Well, what I see structure. I guess there's the figure that's left, but we haven't really decided that.
Can we just decide now? I think that the way Griff explained it is pretty compelling, and I would go with 300K unless in our drafting of this, something comes up that would make us change our mind. Do you feel something? Yeah.
I get a bit skeptical about increasing the price slippage a lot, because in the end we kind of lose out because the price varies so much when we do the buy-in. I would choose 250K just to be in the happy medium.
I feel like you are one of the very few people who understand this the most. And if you don't mind taking the figure, that number, and going through the advantages and disadvantages, that could be really super valuable for the community, because so few of us, I think, can really understand it as well as you do. Do you feel comfortable with that?
And so,
Which we could, we're neighbors now. We could hang out for an hour in person and play with or even on video call, and play with the dashboard and just see what it looks like, 200, 250, 300, and just like hack it out.
On the bonding curve.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have the tool. We can just add a step that shows where we're at, and we can look at some different designs. And if we spent half an hour to an hour on it, I think we'd get a really good understanding to see what the pros and cons are.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll DM you to schedule it, and I don't know, we can do it in person.
Just
or we
walk
can do
over
it-
the hill, bro.
Yeah.
Through the cow poop.
Yeah,
Come on over.
I'm thinking about it. No, you guys want to see Mitch's house?
You can't. I'm deep in the jungle there. I'm not on the hill.
It's just
Yeah,
like right over there. You just have to walk.
it's hard to see, but it looks like there's already a path, so it'll be easy to get to.
And you posted the template, I'm assuming,
In this doc.
Oh, it's in the document. Perfect.
I'm just going to get rid of template. It's just, this is the art proposal.
Okay. So we're filling out the proposal information
Yes.
with each section.
Yes. And I would say if you want to start riffing on without having the number finalized, just like brain dumping on the advantages and disadvantages of that area, I think we know the area figure, if not the ballpark, if not the exact figure.
Just to make it clear, like when we decide the funds, we are also going to say exactly where these funds are going to be on, like, because otherwise I think it's going to be very hard for me, like, say, like, for example, we say strategic partnerships, but I cannot allocate any strategic partnership on right now because I have no idea. So, yeah, I mean, what's the intention? Like, say, like, what these funds are going to be used for, but say, like, it's going to be decided by the community on Snapshot, or yeah.
I personally would like to see budgets. How much is going to the reward committee? How much is going to strategic partners that will be sold for conviction voting pool money? How much is going to go to making LP tokens that we hold, trading with other communities, and just have that, like, at least percentages, and that way there's not like, there's at least some sort of clear, this is why we need it, It's an easy sell if that's there. If it's just like, hey, this committee is gonna figure it out, then it's like,
Okay, so we say like the percentages, but again, like on the partnership especially, I have no idea like with who should we partner. So I should put like an percentage, like, and then we of course discuss like if it should be higher or lower, but have it drafted. Like, I don't know, like for strategic, no, I don't know, like 20% for example, and then I put the percentages like on this list, and yeah, and then we discuss it, but not getting to the detail with who is going to be our partnership, because I think it's going to take longer, and actually we need to discuss it with the community. It's not like we decided. It's yeah.
Well, this is very high level, right? It's sort of just saying what is in scope and what is out of scope. We're not saying what is out of scope, but we're saying these can be used for strategic partnerships that will be voted on by the community if somebody makes a proposal. They can be used for liquidity in second markets. We might even find another use case. And we know that it can be used to fund the initial rewards. And we can probably put a number with that. I don't know if there's a number in mind. Maybe we say it's 50K or 70K or something. Like we put a number with rewards. That one's definitely easy, and maybe we can figure out rewards. I mean, a split for the partnerships and liquidity. I am a little bit more aligned. The other, like the pool, staying more, having less specific allocations. because there can be, because I think once we have proposals for partnerships and liquidity, it will be obvious the advantages and disadvantages. So I'm leaning less against having there be strict allocations in that pool that's being used by this rhyming board name.
What I would say is that if we add percentages, we can propose to change them later. If one of the things is not as good as we want, then
What's the
like
advantage though? I can see it, but what would be the advantage of having it say 50%,
Less-
50%, or 70,
less
30?
less ambiguity. I mean, how much is going to the reward system? That should be like there's
that
no
I agree
debate
with.
there. There's no debate there, right?
But it's not being custodied by the same group. There's two custody groups, a rewards custody group and a token allocation
Token
custody.
allocation committee.
Strategic, the reward board and the strategic partnerships.
Not explicitly though.
Strategic token allocation. Okay, it's a bad name, but I know that Mitch
I
can
would
make it rhyme.
I wouldn't say allocations. I would say partnerships or trades or yeah.
I'm just throwing out. Let's make it as long as possible.
Well, we could always go the acronym approach. STAR and figure out some words around it.
Yeah, stars.
Strategic treasury allocation.
Strategic token allocation.
Representatives.
Representatives.
The stars.
They are okay. We'll just call it.
Okay.
Star.
Anyway, this memory someone will have a eureka moment, and then we'll throw it in.
I'm with you on that. All right. Does that clarify things for you, Zepti? Okay.
But I also was thinking more on I was aligning more like what you were saying, Tam. Like, I feel if this money is not going to be managed by them but by the community, I feel like the percentage lost their meaning a bit. So the community will decide what they want to do at any moment.
But this group here is going to be focused on looking for new opportunities and proposing them to the community. So having a team that's like got their laser focus on that particular aspect is incredibly valuable.
Okay.
Yeah, I super agree with that. I think there's a lot that the community can contribute, but I feel like we can also make sure that we have groups of focus groups, expert groups is not the right word, but groups of people that are focused on one thing versus waiting for the community to deliver something, I think that it's sort of a combination of those two that give us strength.
Do we know what percentage is going to the reward group?
The reward board.
Yeah.
So you mean from the buy-in, what percentage of those TEC is going to them?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Special purposes. Sorry, as a name.
Special purposes.
That sounds really dorky. Sorry. Special purposes. Token special purposes. TSP. Teaspoon.
Teaspoon.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the thing, though. It's like we're divvying this up to people to start writing it down. Yeah. How are we going to do this?
If I say 100, what are your feelings, Mitch? You
100%?
No, 100K. Like it would be like 30%, something like that.
I don't know. I think that really limits us for the partnerships and the stuff that we can do with the token. Like if we want to make liquidity pools or anything like that, like 100K is nothing.
Yeah. So 80? Yeah, I'm
80,000?
yeah, like 80K. Like uh, less than 100K, like 80K, like, or 60, like, yeah. Since you are the one who's more involved, I really interested in, like, what are the needs that the reward system needs, and yeah, just cover those needs for like,
Oh, you're talking specifically for the reward system, not
yeah,
for the buy-in.
yeah, for
But
only
I think we should work in percentages still, you know?
Yeah, it's important to know that the amount of money that we put in is going to go up. So, because I mean, even just when we buy it, if the price is $1.50, the price will be $1.80 or something after we buy it. So we'll already have some, increase. It'll be worth more than.
Yeah, but from the reward system, like the value is still going to be denominated in XDAI.
Yeah, yeah, but I still think it's important to work in percentages. I'm just agreeing with you on
Yeah.
that because
Okay. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we put in 300K, it might be worth 500K on paper, when it's done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
We might put in 300K worth of XDAI, and then we'll probably get, because of slippage, around 330K worth of TEC tokens. And then those TEC tokens can only go up in price. So they might be worth 500K,
Mhm.
And so for strategic partnerships and such, we'll be just using whatever the market price is.
Oh, okay, I have another question. That's maybe like Tam or Griff, you can answer. Like, more or less, what are the funds that the Commons stack is putting to right now for the work that's being done in the TC? Like, do you guys have a number more or less?
Yeah, give me a sec. Let me look. Go to the next question. It'll just take me like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the intention is if we know this, like, then we can decide, like, okay, this reward needs to, for, I don't know, I was thinking this buying like for 6, 7 months of the launch. I mean, I feel like this covers like the starting of the commons.
Well, no, I mean, this money won't go to salaries. And the reward system will be rewarding a lot of people. Most of the people that the Common Stack is rewarding will get their money from the conviction voting pool. Because they'll be making, like, you're going to make a transparency working group proposal. And that'll come from conviction voting. That'll come from the common pool.
Which gets paid out in XDAI. We're not doing any
Yeah.
spooky conversion at the last minute.
No.
Okay.
So what we really need to know is like, what are the needs from the reward system?
Well, this is where we're basically when people were getting paid out in praise, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So
praise and
people
source.
getting praise. Yeah, praise and source credit. Exactly. Yeah. So basically, like what I understood before was people were foregoing impact hours in favor of regular payments, right? So those people who still have those same agreements are getting paid out from the common pool, but then new contributors or non-regular contributors are going to be getting most of the rewards from this system. Or compensation, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's bonus. The working groups will get their funding, and the working group leads that are working will get their funding from making conviction voting proposals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is still something that Olivia and I were going back and forth on, is that definitely starting out, I don't think the reward system should be lucrative,
No, I would agree.
because if we spend all our money on a system that's not quite there yet.
Then, yeah, then the percentage should be like towards to lower to this reward. Like
Yeah,
in
I
that
understand what
initial.
you're saying. I thought you were talking about the whole buy-in to be 80K, and I was like, what?
Oh, no,
Where did
yeah,
this?
yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, if we're looking at percentages, like I would say maybe 35% being the cap.
Okay.
I
But that,
wonder what
that,
Griff
that would
says
be
though.
like 100K. That is, it will go up.
If we go to 300K, then that would be, 100K.
Okay.
But 30%, that's the maximum.
I would say it's about 50K a month in salaries. A little bit more. Less than 60, more than 50.
Okay.
But part of that is coming from the common pool. That is not explicitly for the reward
Almost
system.
all of it will be coming from the common pool, I would expect.
Yeah, and so this reward system might spend 6K, 5K a cycle, which will be bi-weekly. We have to see, but I don't see it being higher than 5 to 6K.
I mean, I like 50-50, honestly.
50 for the reward.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that we want to do with like these TEC tokens, and spending it all in the reward system or earmarking it for the reward system would be not the greatest use of it.
Yeah, I agree
The
with
reward
Nick.
system, the reward system would also be able to, like, this is, without this buy-in, how will the reward system allocate TC tokens? Would it be by
They'll go
minting new
through
ones, or would it?
They'll go through
Yeah.
conviction voting, get XDAI, and then have
It
to
would-
buy at market price.
It would be the same way that I guess the working groups request funds, right? So we need these funds for the reward system and this much, and then basically we take out that XDAI value, we convert it on the bonding curve, and then we hold it in the sub-DAO. And then when we need to pay out, we take that amount and we just distribute it.
I have another question regarding the reward system. And how long this initial buy should cover for the reward system? Like a year, 2 years, 6 months,
Hey, maybe forever.
forever?
I mean,
the nice
if
thing
the
is that-
TEC token keeps going up in price and they only get a reward a little bit, then
Yeah.
they might, you know.
But
Yeah.
But our intention, like, what do we expect? Like, if the funds, we run out of funds in 6 months, that would be failure, that would be success. Like, yeah, it would be beneficial to know, like, what would be failure and what would be success in a period of time.
I would say
Yeah, go
give them a period of 3 months at least for this reward board to kind of like organize itself, and then to be able to successfully start making proposals to the common pool. So like
And I
that
would
would be a
say 6.
good. 6 is good, but I'm looking at the figure. It's like 5 to 6K bi-weekly. That's like 10 to 12. That's like over 100K.
6 months for
6
12K,
months,
72
72. Yeah, sorry, you're right, Griff. Math.
math. I was on the
Anyway,
wrong-
so, like 72K is fine, and like 6 months I think actually is a good number. But I would say minimum 3 months we want to cover this thing for. So then, yeah, I guess according to Griff's things, we're looking ballpark 72,000, which would be still way under 50% if we go for the big one, or even the 200K.
So maybe 100K for rewards and 200K for.
I mean, that's if we agree on 300K.
Yeah. That's true.
But if we could agree on a percentage,
33% rewards and 66.7%.
yeah. I'd,
1/3, 2/3.
so then if that's 300K, that's 100K.
Is yield farming out of scope right now, or?
I don't think it's in the scope of this proposal.
Yeah, I think token swaps are fucking awesome. Personally,
What
What
was the
about-
question about scope?
Oh, go ahead.
yield farming. I really think that what Olympus DAO is doing is just better than yield farming. Just have the DAO buy liquidity. Don't rent it. You know. This I feel like the idea of yield farming is like a great way to launch with liquidity and get a price, but after launch, you should just be accumulating liquidity yourself as a DAO.
But I think,
and then holding
Zepti,
it forever. And it's like buying a house versus renting an apartment.
are you saying about creating our own liquidity farm, or are you talking
So token
about?
swaps are us buying liquidity at cost, which is cool.
No, I'm asking Zeptimus, like, did he mean like us having a yield farm program or investing in one to get yield?
No, I was thinking both actually. But my initial thing was like, I know there is a very nice farming sushi swap on XDAI, like gets 20% out of Bitcoin and ETH.
But do they take TEC?
I mean, we sell those TCs and we bought Bitcoin, and then we use this money to.
So we sell the TEC.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it's out of scope. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with Griff, and I think there's some value in creating secondary market liquidity so that we can kind of profit off of the same arbitrage thing that he's been talking about.
I mean, in the end, with our exit tributes, most people will not be buying in and out of the bonding curve. They will actually be buying into secondary markets if they're just buying a little. It's only when the slippage is so great on secondary markets that they'll actually go to the bonding curve. Or when, the secondary market's price dips, then there's an arbitrage opportunity.
So if we, like, right off the hop, we create like an XDAI TEC pool on HoneySwap, we can effectively be getting those swap fees off of the secondary market from the get-go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wonder if we're getting off on a tangent, but that's the thing that I see a lot more value in doing versus making a big chunk go to the reward system. Because in the end, go ahead, Zepti.
No, finish. Sorry.
I think that in the end, the revenue that we generate from this will eventually go back to our common pool, which will help us actually, keep the ship afloat, and start generating funds to pay people and to reward people. And advanced token engineering.
Yeah. I was thinking, okay, we're going to buy liquidity, and okay, we're on XDAI, and I feel it makes sense to have liquidity on Honey for sure. And do we want to get liquidity on every garden, let's say, like BrightED, Agave, Giveth, or we prefer just to concentrate more in Honey, since Honey have also liquidity everywhere? What? Yeah.
It's probably better to focus our liquidity efforts. I mean, it's fine to do a few token swaps, but we want to definitely have a concentrated token swap because the bigger the liquidity pool, the more people can use it. So like if you have multiple liquidity pools, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. You really want like one big liquidity pool.
And we like if we have one big, it makes sense to be honey, right? In my opinion.
Assuming that One Hive would like to partner with us. I mean, we have to also look at our options. It can be any pool. It doesn't matter which one it is.
Okay.
But Honey would have to say, yes, we will trade you this much honey for that much TEC. And does Honey have the infrastructure to hold a liquidity pool token? Do we trust that they won't sell it? Like we have to that stuff has to be.
They have this thing like locked liquidity pools, and either us or them can sell. Like it's going to be locked, and that was also the intention with Agave. And for example, there is a Agave honey pool that is locked. Like no one can, no multi-sigs, no nothing can remove this liquidity. And actually, what the interest of this liquidity pool is doing, what is, for example, like this liquidity pool is getting more honey and more agave, and then what this is making, like it makes the price of honey and agave go high because every time this gets higher and it's concentrated there. So I think it's very cool.
Yeah, if they have something set up like that already, then it's an easy win, it seems like.
And then what's the difference between a strategic partnership and liquidity in secondary markets? I feel like we're talking about the same.
Well, I mean, we could talk about like making Honey TEC pool, or we could just talk about straight up doing TEC and ETH, which wouldn't be a strategic partnership. It would just be more about like playing the market.
But where the ETH would come from? Would you sell TEC and buy half?
I mean, part of that proposal then would have to be taking something out of the common pool, I guess. Or we would have to sell half then, like you're saying, which again,
Yeah.
But I think because we know that that's going to happen, like people are going to be trading on Honey Swap or Sushi Swap, whatever. It's like, well, then let's just like throw down that first chunk of liquidity and then we can generate revenue from it. And we control the liquidity pool in the end.
I want to share what I've been working on, and it's in the proposal information. I want to know if like this idea is well explained, and if you think I think there is still people that get confused with the bonding curve. So I encourage like to make it the easiest to understand possible. I think I made an effort to do it. So yeah, I would like to have your eyes on that.
I'm so sorry. I have a 4:00. I have to jump on. We got a good start, but we haven't finished.
Griff and I are going to hack on this today.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
same for me. After the calls, I can just hack on the.
And Juan, was there talking about specifically that you wrote?
Yeah, I made like a small image that says like buy here, explains.
By Tam.
By Tam. Yeah, and I think it's more or less accurate. So it can help people to understand what we're talking about just by this.
You know what'd be cool though? Take a screen cap on our bonding curve simulator.
We'll do that.
You can simulate the step in there, and you can be like theorize the buy-in. You can show the initial step, and then
That would be really cool. Okay, I will try to make that.
yeah, it works. And a feature actually, I don't know if Griff saw this, but it's actually the steps are unlimited that you can add. Like I added like 20 steps to it when we were only supposed to add like 3 or something. So it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that. It's fun. I don't think it's a bug. Is it a bad thing?
It's a feature. I don't know. I didn't make an issue for it.
Lauren made an issue.
Oh, well, I think it's cool. I feel like I have another meeting right now, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Just,
I have to.
just
jump
before
out.
we go, like I would like so we sing and say, okay, we are like we're now split it like more or less what we want to do, but we should have also maybe we need another meeting to make this proposal available on the forum, like, or how are we going to handle it? Like, I think it's been for us.
I think we should, well, what really needs to happen is there needs to be somebody who will own this document and make it consistent. Because if you have 3 to 4 different people writing different pieces of it, like, we're not all going to write it in the same way. And, you know, a lot of this might be independent decision making for some of the nitty gritty stuff, but that's not ideally how a proposal should be made. So I don't know if anyone feels comfortable, like everyone write their sections and then we call it done, then we do QA and somebody like goes through and makes it consistent.
Yeah.
But somebody needs to be like the,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
I mean,
Makes
I
sense.
could do that, but I don't want to assume the responsibility from other people.
Yeah.
I mean, Mitch, you're probably the best person to do it, who would do the fastest. I mean, let's be real.
Okay. Do we have a channel where I can ping people for this stuff? Like, should we do it in Stewards or?
Yeah, stewards is probably the best place, right? We're all stewards.
Hello.
Sounds good.
Hello, guys. Sorry.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Bye, Juan.
See you. I can't hear you.
He's like, I gotta join this other call. I can't help myself.
Yeah, I can hit that little Zoom thing. Ding.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Hey,
go
I got my car.
Oh, nice! You bought a car?
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Took me 12 hours, but I did it.
Congrats, man. That's fantastic news. How did you buy it? Like, how did you get